Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. It has been far too long, but this is my first official video filming in my new beauty space. So this is the home office, the home studio. Do not let the backdrop fool you. This room is an absolute disaster. I still have plenty of projects planned for this space, but after a couple weeks of packing, moving, unboxing, losing things, finding them again, just pure stress, it feels good to sit down, take some time to play with makeup. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to get ready and share all of the updates with you. First and foremost, I have to thank Colleen Rothschild for sponsoring a portion of today's video. They generously sent over an entire skincare routine, and I've been using these products for the past few weeks. I love them, and I'm going to be prepping my face using all Colleen Rothschild today. So I'm starting with this vitamin C brightening serum. It has vitamin C and niacinamide. You can use it morning or night. I like to use my vitamin C serums in the morning. I'm gonna do one full pump, 1.5 pumps. It comes out really creamy and milky. I really like the texture. A couple weeks ago, I actually jumped on a Zoom call with Colleen Rothschild and a few other creators, and she was taking us through all of her products, talking about her favorites, her inspiration, why and how she developed her skincare line. And she is a sensorial queen, and it truly is noticeable in all of her products because they smell incredible. Nothing smells harsh or artificial. It smells really natural. This smells to me like something you would find in a fresh herb garden. It's so nice. Next, I'm going in with the Illuminating Tinted Eye Cream. This is perfect for morning. It has a slight tint to it. So even on no makeup days or days that you're just doing light skincare, really light makeup and getting out the door, this eye cream is going to help brighten and color correct any dark circles. It also helps to target fine lines and wrinkles, and it's formulated specifically for the very thin, sensitive skin around the eye. Tell me you saw that. It started out like paint and it blended out so beautifully. Now I just have a little luminosity, a little brightness, and all of the redness beneath my eye is gone. With everything going on, I have not been sleeping very well, but this is basically 8 hours of rest in a tiny bottle. It is genius, and I don't think it's my favorite product today. This is actually the star of the show. This is the viral black primer. I'm sure you've seen this on social media. It is the famous black tourmaline face primer. In the bottle, it looks pretty opaque, maybe a bit intimidating, but once you blend it out, it's a really smooth gel. As a gemstone, black tourmaline is a symbol of strength, but this primer is going to help create a barrier against pollutants on the skin. So I'm just going to apply in the center points of the face like I normally would, and you can tell it's starting to sheer out. I know I already mentioned the smell of these products. The scent of this primer is so relaxing. It is the best smelling beauty product I think I have in my collection. It's a little bit like vanilla and coconut. So soft. It's very, very faint, but it is there. Not sticky or tacky or greasy whatsoever, so it helps to fill in any fine lines and pores so that anything you put on top is going to go on really smooth. This primer has been a game changer because it's slightly mattifying, only slightly, which is great because it basically helps to eliminate the humidity. Whenever I walk outside, I don't feel like my face is melting or I'm getting really oily, really greasy, really shiny quickly, because this helps to just control and balance the skin overall. It's also anti-aging, so it will also hydrate and target fine lines and wrinkles. I genuinely love the entire Colleen Rothschild skincare line, but if I had to choose favorite products, I would say this would be number 1, this would be number 2, and then I'm kind of torn for number 3. I do really like the vitamin C serum. I also like the super serum. The makeup removing balm is of course famous, and the glycolic peel pads are incredible. I will of course include all of the links to my favorite Colleen Rothschild products down below at the top of the description box. That way they're easy to find. Highly recommend checking these out. I do have a couple new products to try today, but I basically just went through my drawers and pulled out anything that looked good. I have a couple old favorites that I haven't used in a while, like this Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. So I figured we would use some of those products today. Unfortunately, there was no time for a moving vlog. I think we survived the least organized move in history, and a big part of that was because our timeline got moved up. And here I had been making so many trips. I thought we were in a much better place than we were, and I don't think I realized how far behind we were until moving day. maybe the day before moving day because I hadn't even started packing my fragrances. And I don't know what I was thinking, what I thought was going to happen. I was panicking internally, but trying to keep my calm and keep my cool on the outside. I'm a very cool, calm, and collected person. My husband is the complete opposite. At one point during the morning of the move, my husband walked into my room, saw all of the fragrances, and started panicking, and he was yelling at me, "I can't believe you haven't started packing these." And I was yelling at him back, "Don't yell at me. I'm trying to keep calm." It was chaos. The movers we hired to help were amazing. They were so patient, really understanding, and they just worked around the rest of the apartment until I was finally ready and had everything in boxes. And by the end, I was just throwing fragrances in bags and moving them over. And I'm packing them in my car, obviously, not the moving truck. Knock on wood, but I haven't seen any broken bottles. I don't think anything was lost during the move. So as much as it wasn't exactly organized, not great planning on my part, it kind of worked in the end. Moving is always a really daunting task, especially when you have a ton of beauty products and a lot of little glass bottles, a ton of fragrances. Yes, I could have spent time individually bubble wrapping every single fragrance, but I would have needed probably a week to start that project. And because everything was really rushed at the end, I didn't even have time to do that. I wouldn't have had time anyways, even if I had attempted it. It was also swim week last week, which if you've been with me for a while, you know that's usually a very busy time for me. I always like to go to the events, pop-ups, brand activations. I like to see all of the fashion shows. And this year, I basically skipped out. I didn't see any of the fashion shows this year. Against my better judgment, I did make it to 2 brand events. The first was a Kerastase brunch. I figured I would need a break from packing anyway, so I went to the lunch. It was at a really cute restaurant, which I'd never been to. And I love Kerastase. I love the brand team. I love the products. I feel such a genuine relationship with the brand that I wanted to make an appearance, and I'm so glad I did because it's just nice to get out of the house sometimes and think about something other than the move. This is the new version of the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer, the new version. I did not like the original. It was a bit of a creasy mess, but I did try this and I really liked it, and then I threw it in the drawer and I haven't really reached for it since. So I want to give it another go, make sure I really like it. So the next day, or the day right before the move, there was another hair care event with Color Wow and Chris Appleton. This event was for the launch of their brand new Dream Coat Extra Strength, which if you're familiar with the Dream Coat, it's been viral all over social media. It basically makes your hair waterproof. And it lasts through a couple shampoos. There are a bunch of visuals that I've seen where people take a little dropper and they drop water droplets on the hair and it just rolls right off. It's a really innovative product, but the current version doesn't work as well with all different hair types. So the extra strength is going to be for coarse, textured, curly hair, which needs a lot of moisture. They had to kind of balance out the formula. They needed to create something really hydrating and nourishing for curly, coarse, or textured hair that would still lock out the humidity.
My top 3 Color Wow products would be, first of all, Dream Coat, obviously my hair mask, the Money hair mask, and then third is probably Raise the Roof for that instant volume, that proper volume. Yeah, it's a game changer.
I went with one of my dearest friends, Juanita, who is leaving Miami. She's not leaving Miami for good, but she's going to be spending the majority of her time now on the West Coast. So I did not want to skip the event. That's really the only reason I went, was to see her. It's so hard to believe that we've already been in the new house a full week. I was asking my husband yesterday how he felt about it. It's been a full week. How does he feel? And he said to him, it felt like it had only been a couple days. To me, it feels like we've been here for months because every day there's been something. It has been nonstop ever since we got here. The first few days, the first probably 2 or 3 days was really nice. Of course, it always takes time to get used to your new surroundings, the creaks, the noises, the temperature in different areas of the house. Like I've noticed it gets pretty warm up in the front of the house versus the back of the house. It gets darker earlier in the front of the house, whereas the back gets a lot of natural light in the afternoon. So just kind of getting to know the surroundings has been interesting. We didn't have internet or TV for the first few days, which was a bit rough. So I was using the hotspot on my phone until I ran out of data. but we were able to get AT&T out, so we now have internet. They came in the morning to set everything up, and then a few hours later, it turned off. And we weren't quite sure what happened, and we realized later on it was because we had lost electricity on an entire wall of the house, and that particular wall had the garbage disposal, the coffee maker, the internet box, which is plugged into the wall. I don't know, it's something that we haven't had before, so I wasn't familiar with it. Not all of the electricity was out, just the electricity on that wall, and so we could not figure out why was our TV not working. We had just had AT&T out, it was working fine, nobody touched anything, and then just like that, it was gone. It wasn't until the next day we realized what had happened. We still haven't figured out the cause for the electrical outage, but luckily it did come on the following day in the morning. So internet and TV was restored. The coffee maker was restored, most importantly. The garbage disposal, however, did not make it. So we've already had an electrician, we've had a plumber come out and replace the garbage disposal beneath the sink. This is one of the new NARS liquid blushes in the shade Dolce Vita. It's the Afterglow liquid blush. I wanted to try another shade. It's an older home. We knew there would be some problems and probably some unforeseen issues whenever we got here. It's one of those things that doesn't feel like a huge deal, but it actually is. You can't have dishes piling up in the sink or food not going down the drain properly because, for one thing, it stinks, but also we live in Florida. There are bugs everywhere. I was born and raised in Florida, so I'm used to seeing the palmetto bugs, the flying roaches, the lizards. Bugs in general don't really bother me or scare me, but we also have little Jazzy to think about, and we want to do our best to mitigate the problem. We certainly don't want to create a warm, welcoming, inviting environment for the bugs, so we have to be able to get rid of food scraps. TaskRabbit has become my best friend. If you're not familiar, TaskRabbit is one of these websites. It's probably an app as well. I always just use the website where you can find different handymen in your area. So you can search for minor home repairs or a plumber, electrician, and you can read reviews on all of these people and see what their credentials are, what are they really good at. They have different rates, different specialties. It's like a dating app for your handyman, but you can kind of scroll through all of these taskers and find people who can help you with your projects, and it has been so helpful. I've been hiring so many people that I've found through TaskRabbit. I have seen this powder everywhere lately. It's this One Size Beauty powder. It's the ultimate setting powder in the shade Ultra Pink. It looks very pink. So I'm gonna be very light-handed. I like a bright pink under eye, but I don't know if it's going to be too pink. So the top just flips open. I haven't used this before. We did hire a pest control company to help us keep the bugs at bay because the first few days I noticed anytime I walked Jazzy outside around the neighborhood, I would find little fleas on her. And I know it's part of having a pet and it's not the end of the world to find a flea or two, but we've never really had an issue with fleas. When we were in the apartment, maybe once I found fleas on her or we had to remove them, and she takes medicine. It's fine. If they bite her, they just die. I don't know what it is about it, but I have maybe a bit of a phobia when it comes to fleas. So it sent me into just spiral panic mode whenever I saw them. So I immediately got pest control out here to treat the yard. They've been here twice now, and so far so good because I took her out the other day and I didn't find anything on her. She's been such a good sport, and she's really just excited to be in a new place with new surroundings, new smells. There's not enough time to smell every inch of the backyard. She loves it. So I know she's fine. She's not bothered by it, but I was really bothered whenever I found those fleas. Something I did not realize, or one of the many lessons I feel like I've learned in just a few weeks being a new homeowner, I did not realize how aggressive solicitors and contractors are with new homeowners. But our house has been bombarded with little stickers and flyers and this business and this business, and everybody wants your business, and I have no idea how people know that we are here. I had a really strange situation the other day. It was the first time I was home alone in the house. I think my husband had gone to work, and I was getting ready to leave to go to an appointment, something with taxes, very boring. And as I was getting ready, I had straightened one piece of hair and I heard a knock on the door. So I go downstairs and I'm like, ooh, who's knocking on our door? And it was a pest control guy, just a man showing up, button-down shirt, with his clipboard and his iPad. He immediately goes into his spiel and is telling me this story about how it's a family-owned business and they used to service our property and they service all of the properties in the area. And I'm just listening like, yeah, this all sounds great. Oh, discount? Amazing. We need pest control. This is perfect timing. So I go ahead and I sign up instantly on the spot. Didn't even think twice about it. I thought about it later on. I realized how impulsive it was, but I was a bit panicked because I had found fleas on Jazzy. I was feeling a little bit vulnerable, just wanting to get everything set up and take care of everything with the house immediately. He was so friendly. He seemed really trustworthy. But even as we were talking, I did ask, do you have a business truck somewhere? Like, where's your truck, your pest control truck? And he's like, oh, down the street. Oh, I just drive this normal looking car because, somebody else drives the truck. I'm asking him, oh, so what other houses in the neighborhood do you treat? Oh, over here, over here, over here. Couldn't give me a straight answer. There were definitely red flags present, but I was just kind of panicked and frazzled, and I think I knew that I needed to leave the house, so I was just kind of trying to get through it. And then later on, I looked up the business, and all of the reviews said, this is a scam. So I immediately started panicking even more, called him up immediately, and I canceled. And because they hadn't serviced the property yet, I think it was pretty easy for them to cancel. I still have no idea if I've been scammed, if I'm going to wind up with a bunch of charges on my credit card, because I gave credit card information, the whole bit. It's been a while since I've used the new Pat McGrath Labs bronzer, so I'm going in with this next. So that was a lesson for me, to just take a deep breath. I don't have to fix everything immediately. We don't have to have all of the solutions and find every business to help us right now. The house is definitely testing our patience, which is probably a good thing. I imagine we will look back a year from now and we will have so much personal growth, but it's hard. It's so tempting to want to do everything right away, fix everything right away. And I know it's going to take time to decorate all of the rooms, but just getting everything fixed, working on every little project, making the foundation 100% perfect, it's just not that easy. I'm discovering. I really like the NARS blush. I really like the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer. And I really like the One Size powder. It isn't too pink. The problem with the NARS blushes is I feel like because they are so light, as soon as I apply bronzer, you can't really see it as much anymore. And this is one of the darker colors. I think it does get maybe a little darker than this, but not much. Because of the timeline, the way everything worked out with closing on the house, we weren't able to do our final walkthrough. So our realtor did the final walkthrough and she sent me pictures and videos. So we didn't get to see the house without any furniture until we picked up the keys the following day. It was the first time after we had already purchased the house that we got to walk through and see all of the rooms completely bare. And it's not that it changed my mind about anything. We still love the house, but it's very different when you can see every little scratch, every little stain, every little area on the wall that needs paint. We're planning to paint anyways, so it's going to be fine, but you realize all of the little things. I think it's easy to fall in love with the house and romanticize the house when you see all of the furniture in it because you can imagine your life there. But even in this room, which is going to be my beauty room, the paint on the door is peeling. I think the door will probably have to be replaced. So it's just a lot. Even in this one room, there are so many little projects that need to be done before I can even worry about putting the furniture where it needs to be and even buying new furniture. The closet is pretty big in here. I think eventually, maybe in a few years, I'll do some sort of custom closet situation. For now, the floors have already been redone. We already removed the shelf. If we take care of the door, the walls, and the ceiling, that will be it for projects in this room. What's funny is that for the rest of the house, I feel like I have a pretty strong vision in mind for what I want it to look like design-wise, style-wise. This is the one room of the house that I'm at a loss. I have no idea what I want it to look like in here. I keep trying to search for inspiration and scroll Pinterest. There's nothing that really speaks to me. I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't want. And I don't want this room to end up looking like just a makeup storage room. I see so many creators that have built out shelves everywhere, and it almost looks like a boutique or a Sephora at home. And I think it looks beautiful. The OCD, organization obsessed person in me loves that look. It feels really impersonal, and maybe because I worked retail, I just have no desire to walk into this room and have it feel like I'm in a makeup store. I obviously have a lot of stuff to store, so I'm trying to figure out how I can organize and store all of my belongings in a way that's really functional but still looks very minimal and calming whenever I'm working in this room. Complexion is done. I quickly filled in my eyebrows, and for eyes, I wanted to pull out an eyeshadow palette for the first time in a long time. This is Divine Rose from Pat McGrath Labs. I don't really have a plan here, but I'm just gonna play around with this palette. So with a fluffy brush, I'm gonna pick up this mauve shade. There are currently 2 rooms where we're making the most progress. I think they will probably be finished first. The bedroom, which I expected because I had been planning out the bedroom very early on, clear vision. I knew exactly what pieces I wanted. So the bedroom is starting to come together. That's the first room I wanted to finish. And then the living room or the TV room, which I did not expect because it's not really a room I care about. I feel like the TV room is my husband's room. That's where he spends the most of his time. It's a more casual room, so I just didn't really feel like I was gonna be that inspired. But actually, it's become one of my favorite places in the house because there are so many windows and doors. It gets a lot of natural light. So on a sunny day, even on a rainy day, but definitely on a sunny day, it just feels really cozy in that room. And then when it's raining, it's really peaceful because we have a lot of trees in the backyard and you can just see the rain falling off the leaves. We need a couple side tables. We need a new rug, probably a new coffee table at some point. But it just feels like it's going to come together really quickly and really easily, just effortless. For the last few weeks, I've actually been gathering inspiration for designing the more formal sitting room with the fireplace. That was my favorite room, and I thought it would be the first room to be finished. It's currently empty. We have a couple boxes left over from the move until we can paint the walls, and it's become a bit of a catch-all room. I really don't want to rush. I would rather take my time, make sure we pick out all of the right pieces, do it right and do it slowly, because eventually I think it could become my favorite room. I love this peachy gold duochrome, so I'm gonna throw this on the lid. This is such a pretty color. It's really a beautiful eyeshadow palette. I didn't give myself a lot of time before the move to really go through all of my stuff, go through all of my drawers, all of my makeup, all of my fragrances. I planned to, and then it just didn't really pan out. So at some point soon, I will be doing an organization, a declutter. I got rid of a lot of stuff. A lot of everything, clothes, kitchen utensils. I mean, we threw quite a bit away. Things that were broken or old, and it just didn't make sense to move them. You don't realize how much stuff you can acquire in 6 years until you go to move. And even though we got rid of a lot, we still have so much stuff. So organization, declutter is coming very soon. I recently found these new Laura Mercier lipsticks. They sent these to me a while ago and I hadn't tried any of them. So I pulled out 2 shades. This is 121 Bliss. It's the High Vibe lip color. And then this is 123 Blaze. I wasn't sure which one I liked more, so I'll probably just do a combination of the 2. I wanted to do a pop of color with this eye. I've been living in nudes and either no makeup or just very neutral and nude, so I wanted to do something fun. This was Bliss. I really like that one. This is a little bit lighter. This is Blaze. See, I'm gonna mix them. They're really creamy And it kind of feels like a second skin on the lip. Like it doesn't feel like you're wearing lipstick. Maybe that's why I thought it was sheer. It definitely has a lot of color. We have had contractors in this house every single day since we moved in doing something. And right now there is a painter here and he's looking around to give us a quote to help us with the painting. That's really the last big project. As soon as the painting is done, that's when I'm going to give you the tour. It won't be complete and it won't be empty. But I feel like with the walls painted, you'll be able to see the vision a little bit more. I'm using this Buxom lip liner. I love these. This is the Power Line Plumping Lip Liner. This is shade Savvy Sienna. I think I have 2 or 3 of these now and I love it. The formula is amazing and I love the brush on the other side. It helps you clean everything up. And this color is great because it goes with basically everything, but it helps to contour the lip a little bit. I'm gonna go look in the mirror, but I think this is basically the makeup of the day. So that completes today's video and the first time filming in my new space. There will be so many more exciting updates to come soon, and slowly but surely things are starting to get back to normal. But I hope you enjoyed it and you liked listening to my updates. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me any comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be listed down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.